I decided to find out how much basil I could grow in my AeroGarden Bounty using a simple hydroponic setup. I started by preparing the nutrient solution, adjusting the water to a pH of 5.9 and an EC of 1.0 using the Terra Aquatica tripart nutrients. Then I planted basil seeds in both AeroGarden sponges and rockwool plugs to compare their performance. The first seedling sprouted just 7 days later. I made aluminum foil covers for each pot to prevent algae growth. I also monitored the pH and EC every other day, adjusting them whenever they drifted out of range. By the 11th day, the first seedlings already had 2 true leaves each. A few seeds were late to germinate, so I culled them since those seedlings were weaker. By the 17th day, the seedlings had grown quite sturdy, so I gave them another dose of fertilizer, bringing the EC to 1.5. At the end of the month, the basil looked exceptionally lush and healthy. The second round of fertilizer clearly paid off, with new leaves popping up daily. By the start of the second month, the basil averaged about 8 inches in height. During the stretch, all I had to do was top off the reservoir and raise the light panel so the leaves wouldn't burn. By day 44, the basil had gotten quite large, but I noticed a slight yellowing on the leaves that had me a bit concerned. When I checked inside the tank, I found brown, rotten roots. It was root rot, and it had already taken over my basil's root system. I decided to act immediately, removing the basil along with the grow deck and setting them aside. Next, using pre-sanitized pruning shears, I trimmed the roots almost back to the net pot. I didn't remove every single bad root because healthy ones were intertwined with the rotten ones, and the plant needed those to absorb nutrients and recover. In fact, root pruning actually helps stimulate root recovery in hydroponic setups. Next, I filled a small basin with water and added about 2 to 3 tablespoons of 3% hydrogen peroxide. After that, I let the basil roots soak in the solution for 30 minutes. I cleaned out the system and mixed up a fresh batch of nutrient solution, adding 5 milliliters of Serenade, a biofungicide packed with beneficial bacteria. The next day, I checked on the roots, and everything looked good. By day 51, the basil had fully recovered and looked healthy again. By day 60, the AeroGarden had turned into a lush jungle of fresh basil. The entire grow cost me only about $7.50 and yielded the equivalent of 6 full-size grocery store basil plants. Overall, this was one of the most productive herbs I've ever grown indoors.